Have you ever had a challenge trying to figure out how to best manage your energy? This is my problem. I have 100 ideas a day, and I'm often not sure which ones to keep and which ones to throw away. This process that I learned during Dave Jury's 6Q life coaching experience on Multiplicitor helped me gain a frame for how to think about how to appropriately manage and utilize my energy to have the most impact. So, this is adapted from content from the Leadership League, and it's this four-part process. And it goes sense, seize, build, and reap. And the idea here is that in each of these steps, you're managing your energy differently and making wise choices how to have the most impact. So, in the sensing stage, you're determining whether or not an idea is worth expending energy on. People who are good at this can quickly sense or discern which ideas to seize and spend more energy on, and which ideas to let fall by the wayside. So a person who's good at this can quickly spend a minimal amount of energy to decide what to seize. Now, when you're ready to seize something, you're making an intentional decision to use a burst of energy almost at a high level or a entrepreneurial type intensity to really launch into an idea or a project or an outcome. This is when you're really choosing to dive into something. Now, some ideas you may put a lot of initial energy into and then hand off to somebody else to continue with that idea. But a few you might choose to go to the next level, which is building. In the build phase, you move from that initial startup and intense energy to more long-term, what I like to call tugboat energy. And this is where you're just over time really unpacking with quality and depth an idea or a project. Now, as you can imagine, you can't have too many build items on your plate at any given time because of the amount of energy over time that it takes to accomplish this type of thing, this type of outcome. Now, if you build something and complete it, then you actually move into the fourth stage, which is a beautiful stage. And what's unique about this is you're almost using no energy at this stage. You've completed the project or the product or the outcome, and now you're simply reaping the benefits of all the energy you've already expended. So that's the process. Sensing whether or not an idea is worth seizing in order to put a lot of energy into, and then determining whether you want to take that project to the next level where you likely have to build over time in a more slow, methodical, in-depth way so that you ultimately complete it and then benefit and reap the results of all that energy. I want to share an example of this from a creator, a content creator named Tiago Forte, who sells courses online. Now, interestingly, he has a whole process he walks through before he actually gets to the point of launching a course. And it's very similar to this sense, seize, build, and reap process. So Tiago has a lot of ideas that he could build a course on. But instead of spending energy figuring out which ones to use and maybe wasting energy trying to build a course and for an idea that's really not worth it, he will actually tweet all kinds of ideas and he'll see which ideas get traction with his audience. Those that get significant traction, maybe 1 in 50 tweets, he throws into his bucket of best tweets. Then, when he's ready to write an article for his blog, he won't just try to think of an idea, he'll actually go back to his best tweets and pick one that seems interesting to him still and write a whole article on it. This requires him to seize an idea and spend a burst of energy on that actual idea. So the tweet doesn't take that much energy and he uses his audience to sense which one might be worth to then seize, where he writes an actual article and spends a significant amount of a burst of energy to complete. Now, he also at times writes series that then develop into courses. Again, he doesn't just randomly decide which series to use, but instead he looks at which of my articles got a lot of attention and traction. Those he then unpacks and makes a whole series of articles. And as you can imagine, this takes a lot of work to write a series of articles. Now, maybe 1 in 10 of those series will actually turn into a course, and he has to build the course. This takes a lot of effort. It's ongoing, tugboat style, long term, in depth, quality work that he has to do. But once he's published a course and done all that building work, he now gets to reap the benefit of that course. As self paced courses that people can buy on demand, it no longer takes him much energy at all to host those courses and make money off of them. So he's benefiting from all the energy he expended, particularly when he was building the series and the course, and now reaping the benefit of all that labor. So that's a great example of how somebody moves from low energy sensing to a burst of energy seizing, long term intensive energy over time with building, so that he then benefits and reaps from all that energy expended. There's a lot of different examples that this framework of sensing, seizing, building, and reaping can be applied to help you manage your energy well. Perhaps it relates to your work, your relationships, your home life, different projects you're working on, or different goals you have. But it's a great framework to start to think through so that you can manage your energy well for the outcomes that you desire.